Do you know how long it's been since I've had a decent piece of cake? How many coffee shops do you know that are happily serving up dry, tasteless wedges of misery? You know who you are! All those fucking cakes that have dyed some horrendous unnatural colour, 6-inch thick sponge and a flavourless neon icing. Rainbow cakes, geode cakes, drip cakes, naked cakes, galaxy cake. Just stop it. It's all style over substance. So I thought we'd go back to a simpler time, when cake had a lot of flavour and a little self-respect. The ingredients for this cake are pretty standard, nothing too special. Flour, ground almonds, sugar, butter, eggs, and of course, lemons. Set up a standing mixer with a paddle attachment. If you don't have a standing mixer, it's not a problem. You can always use an electric hand whisk, or if you're feeling like a bit of a hero, you could always do it by hand. Put the butter, sugar and zest of 2 lemons into the bowl and cream the whole lot together for about 10 minutes, scraping down the side of the bowl from time to time to ensure everything is mixed evenly. Now, I'm a big fan of creaming the butter and sugar for 10 minutes, but you don't have to wait this long. As long as the mix looks light and fluffy, you're good to go. Scrape the bowl down again and then start adding the eggs one by one, beating really well between each addition. Then add the ground almonds and the flour, and guess what? Beat again until you have a lovely, light, smooth batter. Add a splash of milk just to help loosen the cake mix slightly and add a bit more moisture. Then spoon the cake batter into a parchment-lined 2-pound loaf tin and smooth the top. This is more of a token gesture, so don't worry about getting it perfectly smooth on top. It'll even out quite nicely once it's in the oven. Then place the cake into the oven at 180 degrees for about 45 to 50 minutes. While the cake is cooking, you can make the syrup or the drizzle by putting the sugar and the juice of the lemons you zested earlier into a pan together. I also like to add a big old sprig of rosemary as well. Now this might seem a little bit odd for a cake, but I bet you wouldn't even look twice if I was adding lemon and rosemary to a piece of chicken, would you? The rosemary just adds this sort of incredible floral note to the cake. You should try other herbs as well. I mean, I've used thyme, kaffir lime leaf, lemon balm, hyssop in desserts before. I mean, the options are pretty much endless. It just gives this cake a really unique lift that puts it miles above that miserable bit of sponge that you see in your local coffee shop. Soapbox moment over. Bring the syrup to the boil, simmer for 2 or 3 minutes, and then remove from the heat and keep warm. Now, once the cake is cooked, it should be golden brown and firm to the touch. But you can check if it's cooked all the way through with a skewer. Insert a skewer into the middle of the cake, and if it comes out clean, your cake is cooked. Once you're happy the cake is cooked, use that same skewer to poke holes all over the cake right down to the bottom. Then, while the cake is still warm, pour the drizzle over the cake and leave the whole thing to cool to room temperature and the syrup to soak in properly. Once the cake is cool, remove it from the tin, mix a little icing sugar and lemon juice to make a quick icing and spoon this all over the top of your cake to glaze it. Now, if you're like me and you like your icing, just keep spooning the excess back over the cake until you're happy with it, or you get bored of the process. Once the icing is set, the wait is over. It's time to serve this incredible little lemon cake. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this recipe, please let me know by hitting the thumbs up down below. And if you're new here and you like what you see, why not consider subscribing as well? You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, and now apparently even on TikTok. So go and check them out. Tell a friend about this channel. That would really help me out. I will see you next time.